Thank you, Cedric Thomas, for your effort to OW2 community till now. I apologize because my speech, the title is 10 years of open source with OW2, but I'm not going to have a celebrating speech because what I've learned in an open source community is to look at the future, not to look at the past. So I'm not a visionary, but I want to go what can OW2 do in the future. But back to days, I still remember 2006 when we met in Paris, Brussels, and finally in Rome to prepare the launch of OW2. Then we started with first events and meeting, a lot of enthusiasm and expectations. About the expectation, what's the reasons to be a member of OW2? To learn how the open source community operates from the inside, first of all, to enter a wide network of contacts, to act in a multivariate international context, and to be a real actor in the open source ecosystem and grow in one's reputation. Do you remember a lot of activities, initiatives, projects, balancing the European and Chinese community, the effort to open local OW2 chapters? Some have been failed, some have been successful, some failed, but the internal OW2 awareness grow over time and also reputation. At the end, we are a community with fundamental European roots. And during this journey, I met various actors, various type of people. Of course, optimists, pessimists, some realists. We also usually need some realists, some opportunists. Some, I say, Napoleons. I'm not here to name names, but you can think who can be a Napoleon in France. And also naive, candid, and passionate people. Passion is key in open source because remember, and also in our life, hearts are more important than minds. After 10 years, we have a lot of very new friends, and some of them want to celebrate now the 10th anniversary of OW2.
Happy birthday, OW2. Congratulations on your 10 years and all the best in another 10.
Happy birthday, OW2.
Happy birthday, OW2.
Happy birthday, OW2. Joyeux anniversaire, OW2. Bon compleanno.
So, some greetings from OW2con'. Oh, sorry. And after 10 years, we reached a first stage. What is OW2 now? It's a mature and lively community with a clear vision of the future, or we usually try to have a clear vision of the future. That is the reason of this conference today. A community that leads projects to market awareness, thus preserving the spirit of open source. The main important thing is a community of friends. What's in it for engineering or other members? We have achieved open source awareness over time, competence, leadership, and an international reputation for our projects. For engineering, Spago BI that now is rebranding in OH or other projects of the members. Lesson learned. Sorry, the microphone now. Open source is a path, not a destination. We have to very close the microphone. Okay. Open source is a path, not a destination. It reinvents relationship and business dynamics. It gives access to a wide network of contacts. So we don't skip to the end of the path, work the path. It means take the leadership, introduce actionable activities, be agile, give and justify tangible results, be a driver of change. It's not for free to walk the path. You must do these things. But expect resistance to cultural change. Nevertheless, commit people to make things happen, because people doesn't happen by themselves. And remember that collective benefits, what's in it for us, are more valuable than personal benefits, what's in it for me. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world. Digital transformation. Digital transformation is about new challenges. First of all, technological disruption in workplaces. It's a long time that I saw a very nice movie, Her, where the main actor fall in love with the operating system because it was a sexed operating system. In this film you can see, it's probably 2010, probably later. It's a film with a lot of expectation for the future, and now something is happening. You can see self-repairing codes in distributed system. We can see voice enabled everywhere. We can see autonomous driving car. And this cause less effort of people in workplaces or also of IT people. New challenges, of course. Let's see one example that we can see in Italy and recently in France. Algorithms replacing creative designers. It's not advertising for Nutella, of course, but it's just to say how algorithms are in many different topics are redefining the digital transformation. So digital transformation is something very new, providing challenges, but also uncertainty and loss of confidence. Some thoughts about infrastructures. You know that IT users look for fully integrated and simple to use products. Open source is key for this, but probably usability and integration are more important. So we don't need more and more new open source projects, just slightly different, but we need to work on the layer, to work on the APIs, to work on the protocols, to develop new open source projects. And we must remember that if we fail, probably we can be enslaved by integrated infrastructures in the cloud. And we are seeing this trend. Digital transformation. Digital transformation asks for a change of mindset to approach the new data-driven culture. It's a couple of years that I work in big data and algorithms, and I know what it means. We are seeing more and more connected people and objects that are face issues with standard security and privacy. And the digital business Digital business demands opportunity-oriented initiative, bottom-up experimentation, data discovery, agile development and immediate use, hackathon sandbox fab labs instead of traditional event and conference, exploration, innovation, tactical responsive approach. Things are changing from the beginning. Just a couple of issues. Intellectual property. In open source, we know what it is. It's about sharing of software code. It's the software release dilemma to share or to protect, to open or to close. If you look at algorithms, people, data analysts, and also providers know that algorithms include both the data model that is very IP potential, IP intellectual property, and also the code. That's why they are not so keen to share. So there is a lot to do to learn from open source again. Another issue is digital ethics. Digital ethics is becoming a crucial theme. We can define digital ethics as a system of values and moral principles to conduct digital interaction among people, business, and things. Let's go deeper. If you go look at algorithms, algorithms replicate people bias and cannot be biased. They embed traditional and new levels of social discrimination. We have many examples in literature. For instance, a computer program for initial screening of job applicants used information from applicants' form which contained no reference to ethnicity, no direct reference, but you can explore with data. And the program was found to unfairly discriminate for interviews female and ethical minorities. United States, same happens with the credit score for mortgage payments. And the issue is that these algorithms are generally black boxes. Deep learning and artificial intelligence, deep learning is a technique that is emerging in data analysis, is creating computer systems we don't fully understand. And so a responsible answer is to design for fairness, diversity, transparency, and neutrality. A lot of learn from open source in this field. One more example, we can say the tragedy of algorithmic commons. When we give intelligence to self-driving car, we must give intelligence to the algorithms that probably sometimes have to take decisions involving humans. Let's see an example.
Welcome to the Moral Machine, a platform for gathering a human perspective on moral decisions made by machine intelligence, such as self-driving cars. We show you moral dilemmas, where a driverless car must choose the lesser of two evils, such as killing 2 passengers or 5 pedestrians. As an outside observer, you judge which outcome you think is more acceptable. You can then see how your responses compare with other people. If you're feeling creative, you can also design your own scenarios for you and others to view, share, and discuss. Moral Machine is a project by the Scalable Cooperation Group at the MIT Media Lab.
Okay. Random decision that self-driving car can take when the brakes fail, for instance, could be keep going and hit the pedestrians and saving all the passengers inside the car, or crash to a barrier affecting all the passengers. Is an ethical and moral dilemma, but a decision taken by an algorithm. And Moral Machine, as you can see, is a crowdsourcing platform collecting answer decisions from people. So far we have more than 5 million of decisions taken by 1 million of people. Discussion is open, and we need time to get this far-reaching discussion, but it's looking at the future, what happens when we give power to the algorithms. Data-driven culture means a change of mindset. Time ago, I was at the Gartner briefing, and you know how much Gartner is close to open source. And the Gartner analyst firm said that we must replace the traditional words with very new words. Stewardship over ownership, facilitation over control, sharing over securing, curation over governance, ethics over legalities. And you open source guys come up with something new here. Trust. Trust is key for the future. We have no progress with our trust. We know that sharing data, sharing artifacts give more value to this data, these artifacts. Relationships are based on trust. Networks are based on trust. There is no sharing without trust. So the real question for the future is not if we have to trust someone or something, but what the trustworthy threshold we can accept. And we have one more question for the future. If you remember the Moral Machine projects, the ethical dilemma that is a social dilemma. So here the question is, what's the trade-off? What's the role of open source? The role of open source we can see using two old Greek words, ethos. First one is ethos. Ethos is how you live, how you act, is about your reputation, is key value in open source. The second one is pathos. I already said that hearts are more important than minds, all embraced by transparency. Again, a lot to do, a lot to learn from open source. In 2010, I wrote this paper, which open source software for the current decade, 5 questions. And it's now time to give the answer to the 5 questions that I answered in this speech. And first answer is give people a vision. People ask a vision. People need a vision. You must give them a vision. Is the more important role for the open source community. Second answer is considering that technical acumen must be balanced with the creative insights. We must learn people about humanities. Here, a great role in school education, but also in the cultural roots. We must encourage people to trust other people, to be free of charge. Gift account means something like this, to be empathetic, to embrace love. Humans, not algorithms or software, have ethical abilities. And let me say that here, OW2 as the European community with strong cultural roots have a great role in this. I'm going to the conclusion, and I'm sorry for friends, people that probably know this, but it's time to disclose my real approach to digital transformation.
Emma. 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 Emma.
Okay, it's finally, after saying a lot about digital culture, ethics, and something, digital transformation, this is my real approach to digital transformation. That's why it's time to me to give room to younger people. And I've left all my roles in recently in OW2 as a representative of engineering, and this is my last speech as a representative of engineering. But this is my legacy to engineering. And that's why engineering is happy now to celebrate 10 years of open source, of OW2.
Happy birthday, OW2 from Italy.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, OW2. Happy birthday to you.
And thank you all.